to this Stockbox interview. Greg Almond, the CEO of Star Minerals, which is a company listed on the ASX under the code BYH, is joining us today on Stockbox. Hello, Greg. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you very much for your time to talk to us today. So this is the first time that we're talking, Greg, and I wonder, to start us off, could you introduce the company, the projects, and really what you're all about?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's pretty easy. Star Minerals is actually a spin out from Briar, the BYH code that you mentioned before. So we're currently going through the IPO process. We don't have a confirmed ASX code at the moment, but
Okay.
we're hoping that we end up with SMS, just to make it nice and easy for people to remember. But we're essentially a spin out of the Tumble Gum South resource, which is a gold project that Briar have had, that's quite separated from the rest of their assets. And Briar has had great success looking at manganese and a few other things in the main part of the Briar Basin. So the Tumble Gum asset has been something of an orphan. So the decision was made to try and monetize that, and we found the easiest way to do that basically was by spinning it out into a new company and giving it its own life.
Okay.
So that's kind of the flagship, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And the other main asset we've got is a large exploration package in the West Briar Basin, 349 square k's of exploration tenements up there. So basically the main kind of strategy that we're following at the moment is to work up the Tumble Gum South asset. As I said, it's already got a resource on it, so we're going to complete some more drilling work there. It's already on a mining lease, so we just need to finish off some more environmental work to get mining approval there. And the intention is that we get that into production very quickly. It's got a resource of 600,000 tonnes at around 2.2 grams per tonne, ends up with just over 40,000 ounces, which, look, it's not the biggest resource in the world, but the mining inventory is going to come out at around 3 grams a tonne. So it's pretty competitive, especially compared to what else is around that area. So it provides a good feed source for a lot of other potential partners in that area that are dealing with much lower grade dirt. It's a nice little sweetener for them. And we're still quite confident that as we complete further work and more drilling, we're hoping that we can extend that resource and potentially look at going underground as well.
So let's just talk about the opportunity then, and we'll take the Tumble Gum Gold project. Now, you say this the company is a spin out really from Briar, and the main project being spun over was the Tumble Gum Gold project. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So what's the investment case for the Tumble Gum Gold project? I mean, clearly the board in order to spin out a new company, feel that the investment case warrants its own company in its own right.
That's exactly right. Look, Tumble Gum South is, it is a mining project, so it involves certain complexities and expertise that Briar, has chosen not to get involved with. My background personally is mainly in mining and operational roles on mine sites. So I have a great deal of respect for my friends in the exploration world, but they're very well suited to finding projects. They're not necessarily the right guys to develop the project. So the intention, Briar is still very much an exploration company and still looking at great projects in other parts of Western Australia, but this asset really requires a development mindset, and that's what the board of Briar decided, and that's what myself and and some of the other partners that we're bringing on board kind of bring to it.
Okay, so really now it's about developing this in a serious manner.
Exactly right. There is still more drilling to be done,
Mm-hmm.
but it's drilling to further define a resource that we already know is there. We're not waiting for lightning to strike.
Mm-hmm.
We've already found it. We already know that we've got a resource in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to do the technical work about making sure we can get it out in a way that makes money for everybody.
Indeed.
We're not running around a moose pasture trying to find the next thing. We've found it. We just need to do that painstaking technical work to make sure we can get it out and make a dollar at the same time.
Okay. So just on the previous work that's been done then, you say you don't need to find it, you've already found it. So what previous work has been done on this project?
Look, there's been quite a bit of drilling. 49 RC drill holes have gone through this deposit. More than 5,500 meters worth of drilling. There's been another 3 diamond holes that have gone in for geotechnical and further works that have gone through sort of late last year. There's been leach testing. There's been a whole range of scoping studies and work kind of to make sure this is the real deal. So I suppose that's probably the biggest point of difference we've got to a lot of the other junior companies that list. We're not going out trying to find something. We're going out into the market with an asset already in hand, and we just have to do the work to further prove that up and get it into production.
Okay. Well, getting it into production, that's a bold thing to say. How confident are you can do that? And what is the roadmap looking like? You say you've got to do a lot of technical work to effectively work out how to get it into production. So what plans do you have?
We've already engaged a company to start doing the environmental assessment work, which is obviously very important, and you want to make sure that you get that stuff right. So we've already got a company that's working away on that for us to make sure we get the necessary approvals to get into mining. Obviously, the biggest thing is making sure that we have a home for this material when we do mine it. So we're talking to a number of potential partners around development agreements, mine gate ore sales agreements, and any other sort of form of potential partnership you can think of. Really, we're just trying to make sure that we can get this material out of the ground and then find a suitable home for it on a ROM pad somewhere. Part of that is to avoid having to build our own process plant or anything like that. It's a very good deposit, but at this stage it is reasonably small and doesn't really justify having its own process plant. So we'd rather partner with someone else and make use of existing infrastructure.
And what can you give an idea of timelines then and sort of key milestones to look out for?
Look, at this stage, I don't want to fall back on the old caveat that it takes as long as it takes, but we are pushing very aggressively to get this done. We have been very fortunate with, for example, the environmental company that's working with us. We haven't closed the IPO yet, so they're doing this on a promise basically, and on the fact that they think I'm enough of a good bugger that I'll make sure I pay them. It's the environmental approval side of things is often the major hiccup for these kind of projects. So we want to make sure we do that stuff properly. We are very fortunate in that, both Briar and the ultimate parent company, AVL, have already done a lot of environmental work in this area. So we have a lot of the baseline studies and things like that give us a good grounding to work from. So we're pretty confident that we can get that done as quickly as is humanly possible.
Okay.
We are in Western Australia. The regulators are very professional and very sensible and very cognizant of the fact that they're assisting as well as regulating the resource industry. So we're confident that they'll give us a fair shake, and as long as we do the required work, we'll get it done in a very timely fashion.
Okay, so that's your Tumble Gum project, which is much more advanced, and as you say, you're going to take that hopefully to production. So then the other side of the business is the West Briar projects. Is that right? And are they more exploration based?
Yeah, that's right. The West Briar is certainly a very exciting patch of ground. We've got a really good ground position there.
Mm-hmm.
It is, not as advanced as Tumble Gum South. The area in question has kind of been looked at since sort of the gold rush days at the turn of the 20th century. So it's been known about for a long time, and people have done work on it. But one complicating factor is there's quite a bit of alluvial cover over the area. So 100 meters or more of sands and gravel sitting over that material. So exploration has been challenging in the past. A lot of the work hasn't necessarily been well targeted. Even a tenement that may look like it's had a lot of drill holes on it, they may have been cut short. They may not have actually gone to depth to find something interesting. The Narracuda Formation, which is a reasonably prominent band of rocks that sort of extends through our tenements, is probably quite well known to anyone that's followed Sandfire. And they've obviously had great success with DeGrussa and Monte and some of their deposits. And we're on that same formation. So that's why we're pretty confident that the area is very prospective for gold and copper. And that's what we're aiming to find up there.
Okay, so what would be the plans there then? Have you got some exploration plans already developed, or is that something that's going to be worked on over the next few months?
We do have some plans in place. Fortunately, as I've said before, we're in Western Australia. It's a pretty great place to be working and mining. There's a whole lot of databases, maintained by the government that pretty much give you a really good overview of the work that's been done by people that have held that ground in previous kind of exploration campaigns. So there's a whole range of data that we're working through at the moment, putting together some drill results, soil sampling, geophysics. So we've got a few plans in place, and we'll just keep working away on that to come up with a good coherent strategy.
Okay.
Trying to get the biggest bang for our buck before we start a big campaign there.
Okay. So you say you're in the IPO stage. If people want to get involved, then what's the best way? Is it to go to their broker?
Look, probably the easiest way is by all means they can discuss with their broker, but I'd suggest starminerals.com.au is the easiest way to go. We've got the prospectus online, so everyone can read that and make up their own mind. And then we've got a series of links that takes you directly to our investor portal, and makes it pretty plain and simple to get on board.
Okay, good. And I wonder, just as a final thought, if I can ask you to perhaps give maybe 3 reasons why people should consider investing in the company.
Oh, well, that's
putting you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, no, look, that's a great way to ask it. I'd say first and foremost, our main point of difference is that we have a resource in the ground. We have a known tangible deposit that we can go after. We already know what we've got, and we have a pretty clear pathway to bring that into production in one form or another. Second point would be, we've got a fantastic team. We've got excellent board members with fantastic experience of mining companies and exploration and how to make sure they're successful. So that's fantastic for me to be able to leverage off the experience of those guys and make sure that we're doing things properly. And the third thing is obviously just the fundamentals of both gold and copper. Gold has been on a pretty solid little run for the last little while as people have concerns about inflation and what's going on with various parts of the world economy. And copper has been on an absolute tear for the last year or so. Moving from $3 a pound to $4.50 a pound. So, that's a pretty compelling case right there. Tumble Gum South certainly helps out with the gold story, and the work we're going to do in the West Briar. I'm very confident that we're going to find some answers up there towards finding out some more copper.
Okay. Well, Greg Almond, the CEO of Star Minerals, thank you very much for your time and best of luck with the IPO process.
Mark, thanks very much. Great to talk.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.